Hey, this is MJ, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this nice triangle scarf with tassels. For this project, I'm using Sugarbush Yarns Canoe, and this is a bulky weight number 5. So if you're looking for a comparable, you want to look for a bulky 5. And today I'll be working with red maple and the scarf that I've already made. I did this for my mom. It's in Sunset. And Sugarbush Canoe has a really nice, unique texture to it and a really cool, almost chain-like look. It's really fun, really unique yarn. If you're interested in purchasing this yarn or the kit, I'll have links in the description box. You're also going to need a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, and I'm using a Brittany hook to crochet up this scarf. To make our scarf 60 by 20, I've used approximately 380 yards or 4 balls of our Sugarbush Yarns Canoe. Okay, so to begin, we're going to make a magic circle. So I weave the yarn and then I wrap it around my index finger 3 times. Take your hook, slide it through all 3 of the loops we've made. Now grab the first loop and pull that through. And now we'll chain 3. And our chain 3 here counts as 1 double crochet. And now going into the ring, we'll make a double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, another double crochet, and now we'll chain 2, and now we'll work 3 double crochet to equal these 3 here. Yarn over, go through our ring, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and 1 more. Okay, so now we want to tighten up our ring, but try not to do it too tight. So I'm going to say loosely. See, we start pulling this in. This one pulls. So now what we want is we want this one to pull in as well. So take that loop that's pulling and pull in your other loop. And why I say loose is I want you to keep that sort of triangle look so it doesn't pull it in too tight. And there we go. And now we'll turn our work and we'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And this counts as our first herringbone double crochet, as this round we'll start working our herringbone stitch. So to do that, we're going to yarn over and we're going to work into that very first stitch, go through, grabbing your yarn, and now pull it through the first loop on your hook. So now you have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the first loop only, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So our first herringbone double crochet is complete. Now we'll yarn over and we're going back into that very same stitch, go through, grabbing the loop, pulling it through the first loop on the hook, yarning over, pulling through the first loop only, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, so this is our increase here. And now we'll work in each stitch across until we get to the chain 2 space. So we're working herringbone again, so yarn over, go through the stitch. Make sure when you go through the stitch, you're going under the 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the first loop only, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we'll go in the next stitch, yarn over, go through, pull the yarn right through that first loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop only, yarn over, pull through 2. Now as you can see, this kind of pulls your stitch down into kind of a diagonal. Looks really cool. So now when we get to our chain 2 space, we'll do a herringbone, pull through the first, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and now we'll chain 2. And in that very same chain 2 space, we'll do another herringbone. Pull through, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we'll work in each of the next stitches until we get to the turning chain. So yarn over, go through, pull through that first loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And into that very next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And then when we get to the turning chain, we'll be increasing again, so we want to add 3 herringbone double crochets into the turning chain, and that will equal our chain 3 plus our 2 herringbones we did on this side. So yarn over, going through, pull through the first, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and now we'll turn and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do the exact same thing. This is such a simple, quick pattern. Every time we turn, we'll chain 3 and we'll do 2 herringbone stitches in that first stitch. We'll work in each stitch across until we hit the chain 2 space where we do 1 double herringbone double, chain 2, 1 herringbone double, and then we work all the way across in each stitch until we get to the turning chain where we add 3. So it's very simple to do. I'll work through this row with you. Work into the next stitch. And just going in each stitch across. Okay, and now we're to the chain 2 space, so we'll do a herringbone, double crochet, chain 2, and another herringbone double crochet. And then we'll continue in each stitch across until we reach that turning chain. Whoops. Okay, so now we're up to the turning chain. So we'll do 3 herringbone stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you're just going to continue repeating this until you have approximately 26 or 27 rows, and that will give you a scarf that is 60 by 20. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to make the tassels, and then I'm going to complete working my scarf off camera, and I'll meet you up to show you how to attach those when I'm finished. Okay, so to make your tassels, you're going to need to make 3, and you're going to need a measuring tape, a bulky yarn needle, and some scissors. So to measure out strands you need, use your measuring tape, and I'm making them 18 inches. So just go to 18 and then pinch that, and then you can move your measuring tape out of the way. And then just go back and forth here. And you want to cut 24 pieces. Okay, so I've counted out 24, so then just trim. And what you want to do, mine aren't all even, but that's okay. You'll trim your tassel ends when you've put them together. So just weave your scissors through to make sure you cut all of your loops. Do the same on the other side. Okay, so now take 2 of your pieces out of your pile. Take 1 piece and you just want to put it into the center of all of your strands of yarn. So you can let those hang down so you can get them even. And then you just want to knot the top. Okay, and then just run your fingers through your tassel just to get them all your pieces straight. Take your other strand to make your tassel ball. You want it to be even. Now go around and then go one more time. That just helps secure it when you're tying it in. You want to make sure all your balls are about the same on each tassel you make. And then you'll just knot that to secure it. And then take your yarn needle, put the ends through, and then you want to weave them down through the tie. Now, as you can see, all my ends are uneven. So just take your scissors and cut that, and then just go the other way. And measure them up with your other tassels just to make sure that they're all approximately the same length. Okay, so I've finished up working all of my rows. Now what I basically do is try to use up all of the yarn on the 4 balls I'm working with. So you can definitely make this scarf a little bit bigger if you want, or a little bit smaller. If you're using different yarn, you may want to alter the size slightly. But when you're done, you're just going to want to weave your ends in. So I like to just look at my finished edge. So this, I finished on this side, so I'll just weave my end to the other side. It really doesn't matter. Both sides look the same, so you just want to look at whatever row you finish on. And you want to weave one way and then weave back in the opposite direction when you're weaving. Okay, and here's where I finished. My one stitch is coming off. So let's just do our last stitch here. You just leave a tail for weaving. And I just have a bit of yarn left. So then we just pull that through. And again, I just look at my finished edge and I'll just weave it on the other side. Always when you weave, you want to pull just that you're not distorting your project at all. So now there's a couple things we can do to finish off our scarf. You can block it to the measurements that I've given you, 60 by 20. So a great way to block a scarf like this or a shawl would be to get some big mats. I'm just going to grab some and show you. I have these like really big foam mats. So you can pick these up really at any store. I got mine at Walmart. So usually they come in a package of 4, so you can lay them out and attach them to make them big enough for your project. I'm just going to show you what your blocking pins look like. You can actually use any pin. These can just be handy because they've got the 2 pieces. But yeah, so you would just take your shawl and just pin it out to your measurements, use your measuring tape and just pin it to the mat. Now I find my shawl is looking pretty good, so instead of blocking this one, because I want to show it to you right away, I'm going to steam it instead. So I'm going to just give you a little demo on how to do that. Okay, so I have my steamer here. And because this is a shawl, and it's okay if you don't have the exact measurements. It's okay just to steam it, just to kind of, this top edge, it will just help loosen up the fiber so that it stretches out well and doesn't pull. So basically you can just go along your edges just to make sure that they lay flat and they're not pulling. And you can just go lightly over. Just be careful of the fiber. You don't want to apply too much heat, especially if you're working the shawl in acrylic yarn, because that can damage your fibers. I recommend pinning if you're doing garments always to measurements, but because the shawl, the sizing doesn't really matter, you're able to make this shawl as big as you want or as small as you want. This is just going to help it to lay flat and just smooth out any wrinkles that have maybe happened while you're working it. Now, because the scarf comes out fairly good on its own, if you don't have a steamer, you don't have a blocking mat or pins, I do suggest you invest in some mats and pins, but you could also just dampen the shawl, lay it out on the floor, and just put some heavy, like put some tea towels or something heavy over top just to get those edges smoothed out. You can get creative and just whatever you need to use to lay over top. But I have done that in the past as well, and it does work. But definitely it's pretty inexpensive to pick up some mats and pins, and you will have it in the future for other projects as well. Okay, so while I had the steamer going, I steamed my tassels as well, and I just actually trimmed up the ends a little bit more just to make sure that once they were steamed, they had a nice even edge. So now what you want to do to attach your tassel is just knot it to your ends. And then what you do with this is you just take your yarn needle, put your ends through, and you want to just weave them all the way down through your tassel ball so that they blend in. And then you can just do that for all 3 corners.